Hi, American Film and Phone. Welcome to another video. Today is finally the day that I talk about Post, the final of Björk's albums so far that I have yet to discuss. I say this one's for last for a good reason. This is a re-listen, not a reaction. I have heard this album before, but it has been many years, and it was at a time in which I didn't appreciate Björk's music for what it was. I hadn't really gotten into any sort of experimental or alternative music at the time. And so I was listening to it to placate someone who said, listen to something a little different for a change. And now that I've actually gotten into Björk's discography, I think I can actually come to appreciate probably one of the most critically acclaimed albums of her career. I have not listened to this album since I've restarted my YouTube channel back up at all. So I think it is finally time to see how much I've grown and evolved and changed in terms of my music taste, as well as how this music still carries on nearly 30 years after it was released. So if there's something I recognize in the reaction, you'll know why, but I think this is a great way to highlight my time with Björk and really experience this album finally for fully what it is without having some prejudgments or some other reason to not pay too much attention to it. All ears are on Post today. Thank you for requesting this video, and anyway, let's get into it. Track number 1 is Army of Me. Ooh, boom. It's kind of rock electronic. You'll meet an army of me. Oh, she's had enough. She's ready to fight. We won't save you. Who's gonna save you now? Okay. So that was Army of Me, and what a way to start the album. Okay, so this song is about her brother not making his life better and complaining about it. She's like, if you're gonna keep complaining without doing something, you're gonna meet an army of me. I am telling you, little bro, get yourself together. You know, just fix things. I like the groove, I like the riff of it. It really feels cinematic and definitely a moment to remember at the start of the project. Björk's normally good about kicking things off on a very distinct note, and I think this is a very distinct note. Track number 2 is Hyperballad. This one's a little more quieter. Oh, the good beats. Cutlery. What'd you do with that cutlery? This feels like a lo-fi piano song. Well, I hope you set it up. Oh, we're gonna make it dance. So that was Hyperballad, and that was a beautiful song. Sonically, it really just comes alive. And even though it is a slower song, it does have its dance elements to it. And yeah, it's a hyper ballad. It's this slower song of ballad nature, but then it's much more intense over time, so it becomes a little hyper. The wonderful thing about an album like this is that it was well received and very popular, and it means that I get to have notes about what each of these songs is about. And this one is very interesting because she's talking about getting her anger out by throwing out cutlery or throwing other things off the cliff of the mountain that they live in, and using that to get her anger and her excess energy out that she can't get out when she's with her partner. But not necessarily in a way that makes it seem like her partner doesn't get her, doesn't support her, but in a way that allows her to feel more secure in her relationship and feel like she loves her partner because she's gotten any anger that she may have bottled up. She's not taking it out in the relationship, she's taking it out elsewhere in a way that is probably healthier than on a person. She also contemplates whether she goes off the cliff as well, but that kind of snaps her back into reality and allows her to have the lovely life that she has up there safe with their partner. I enjoyed it. I think the movement of it and how it works sonically is just incredible. And I do understand the sentiment of the song about sometimes you have to do things that are away from your partner, and sometimes dark potential realities help you be grateful for the opportunities you have. I think I see that second half more. The first half, I do believe in a relationship where you can be fully yourself. There are certain things you don't need to do with your partner at all times. Like if your partner is an introvert and you really need a rave every so often, your partner can then trust you to go to the rave and be safe and be okay. You know, that's what friends are for. That's what meeting strangers are for. Yeah, it can be helpful to not have all your time with your partner because you might get a little bit of cabin fever. But I don't think it means you have to relinquish a part of yourself that your lover's not aware of. Your lover should be aware of all parts of you if they are true. Overall, a wonderful song, and again, a lovely step in this album's direction. Track number 3 is The Modern Things. Hello. They're waiting for the right moment. Oh, switch it up. She goes high here. Ooh, oh, the nature outro. Was that her doing gibberish again? That was The Modern Things. And no, I was wrong. It's not gibberish, it's Icelandic. That is a constant battle I feel like I have to face across most of Björk's albums. Sometimes she will randomly pull out some Icelandic, sometimes she'll randomly pull out some gibberish. So my apologies to anyone who knows Icelandic. I don't mean to make it sound like Icelandic is gibberish. That is not true. It is just a little hard sometimes with the production to know, and also I very much do not know Icelandic. This song was interesting. I really liked, actually, the end part of her repeating that Icelandic phrase. I think I will need to listen to that one in headphones more to see how I feel about it. But I like the message of it in terms of saying that all the modern things, like cars and everything, they've always been here. They just needed to be created through mining and utilizing natural resources. The car already existed because you had all the building blocks. They've always been on this earth. But you can think about how it goes into today, and that all the pieces you need to make the brighter future, to make the world a better place, is right here at your disposal. So I think it's a very empowering thing, and that we don't have to think about it in terms of let's use more and more natural resources. It's like we have all the information that we need necessarily, so let's make something happen. Let's make our lives better. Let's make the economy better. Let's make the environment better. Let's do everything we can because we have the ability to, and we should make the most of it. Again, I do need to re-listen to it, but I do think it does fade to the background, and I do understand why it was easier to forget from previous times of me listening to this album. Track number 4 is It's Oh So Quiet. I sometimes hear It's Oh So Quiet in my head. I remember that it has a lot of Björk whispering, but that's pretty much it. Shh. Oh, she really is shushing us all. It's peaceful until... Are we in jazz territory? Maybe not. You know, she's like, it's oh so quiet, and then she's loudly shushing. Big riot. Sorry, I can't help but chuckle. It is a little waltz right now. Imagine this on a record player. Y'all going wild. Ooh, she is blowing her fuse. So that was It's Oh So Quiet, and I just found out that the song's a cover. One of Björk's biggest hits is a cover. I didn't realize that. Really? I don't know what the original sounds like, but it is from a more vintage time, we'll say, from I think the 1950s. And actually that song from the 1950s is actually an English cover of the German Und jetzt ist es still. And so it has gone through many hands to get to Björk. And it got to Björk, and I do not know how extreme the screaming and how, soft the quietness is in the song. But yeah, this was a roller coaster. Sorry, headphone users. I guess people weren't using headphones that much, but they are because track number 11 will be headphones. But I feel like this is such an interesting roller coaster of a journey if you're playing on CD or vinyl, because you're having it play and then it'll just go from soft to loud and you don't know fully what's happening if you're only like half paying attention. So yeah, it's intense of a song, but it's also very quiet. But this song is about being in between relationships. You're having calm still, so peaceful, and then you fall in love and you're like, oh my god, like the rush of falling in love is so intense that it matches the intensity of the song. I do like that conceptually. Is it going to be my favorite song on the album? Probably not, especially now that I know it's a cover. I can like a good cover, but I do think I prefer Björk as an original artist first. And I also just think, in general, that this song has its intensity, it has its quietness, and I prefer something that's in between. Not something that is that quiet, but also not something that is actively just screaming and you're not ready for it. But I do respect the commitment that Björk made to the song and also the message behind the song. I definitely feel that way. Track number 5 is Enjoy. Ooh, this sample is fun. I don't know if it's a sample, I just like the sound of it. It magnetizes me to it. Oh, that random synth hits. Oh, I just already know this song's gonna sound amazing in headphones. This is Sex Without Touching. Sounds like New York City traffic. So that was Enjoy, and I really like that song. Sonically, ooh, I feel like that was like an old memory I unlocked. I'm really glad this song's back in my life in particular. I think it's so far my favorite. And I just like that. I don't know. I can't describe how they did those synths, but they did it really well. I like the ones that happen on the upbeat, the beat in general. It was very good. Message wise, it seems like it's about a relationship that she wants it to be simple, but the problem is that she wants to live and enjoy. She can't just go through the motions of a relationship. She wants there to be tasting and that there can be touching, that there is not just looking and smelling, not something that's a little more indirect and a little more distant, but something that is really up close and personal. Whether she's enjoying her relationship, whether she's enjoying a new city, whether she's enjoying whatever in her life, she wants it to be like that. And I feel that way too. I want to, have the intimacy of the world. I don't want to just be detached in general. I want to enjoy and I want to explore and I want to do all of those things. So I really feel Björk on this song. I think we, in this song, are one and the same. I don't agree with Björk on a lot of things. I agree with her on some things, but not everything. And some of her metaphors are a little interesting or unique. But I think in this song, I think we are of the same mind, that we want to explore, we want to have the enjoyment that comes with life and experience life for all that it is. Track number 6 is You've Been Flirting Again. Give her some time and space. All that she said was true. Ooh, what did you do? You reacted was right. So is anyone at fault? This definitely is a little more classical on Björk's end. So that was You've Been Flirting Again. And that is a little more chill, more classical sounding. Definitely there's some strings in there. And it is a very simple, repetitive type song lyrically, where she says that everything she said was true, all of her intentions were good, and that how you reacted was right. Basically just validating everyone in the scenario of flirting, which can be very ambiguous, volatile. You don't know if someone's just being nice or actively flirting or actively wants something out of that flirting. It is interesting how that turns out. And so this song is kind of calling herself out on flirtatious behavior, calling other people out on flirtatious behavior, and saying that, hey, sometimes you need time and space with it, and that it is not always necessarily the most serious thing to be flirting. I prefer serious flirting because I can barely tell if something is flirting anyway. So I hope that if someone is flirting, they are being genuine, because if I have actually been able to acknowledge it, wow, that's a big step, and we don't need to waste that step at all. I think the song is a little on the chiller, slower side for me, and I don't know if I'm going to necessarily listen to it much. I don't really connect with the lyrics nearly as much as many other songs on this album, and the production is just not as intense here as it is on the other pieces of it, and I think I long for Björk's intense work much more. So I'm excited to continue diving into that with the songs we've already heard and songs probably yet to come. Track number 7 is Isobel. Oh, it's picking up. Ooh, I like how it bursts into this. Ooh, I love when you can hear the cymbal or other percussion elements. I love Isobel. Isn't that the name of her daughter? So that was Isobel, and that was a beautiful song. It is inspired by magic realism, and it tells the story of a girl named Isobel who is married to herself and lives on her own, and she was born in the woods, so she fully just acts on natural instinct, and she is befuddled when she comes to a city, and she's like, I don't really know what to do here, and I think the industrial influence is not necessarily the best thing for the planet. So definitely goes into Björk's roots in Iceland, and very much thinking about how environmentally conscious she is and how she thinks a lot about nature and has implemented nature a lot into her music. I think she came up with a story and made it resonate with her because of her emphasis on loving nature and trying to explore unfamiliar surroundings as she did as she became more popular and well-known. I definitely want to listen to it again to catch the whole story, but I think it is something that is interesting, and I'm excited to get back into it. Track number 8 is Possibly Maybe. Oh, feels like code, almost like Morse code. It also feels kind of outer space, satellite-like. Possibly maybe. She's gonna drill that into our heads. Did you say possibly maybe, probably not? Oof. Since we broke up, ooh, I didn't know it was over. I just realized that maybe split up as may and be. Like it possibly may be instead of possibly maybe. So it's possibly maybe, and I looked up the lyrics, and I'm very intrigued by them. I have heard this song definitely before. I remember it decently in terms of the possibly maybe part. I remember that, not really with the verses, but the verses are interesting because apparently it's basically a timeline of a relationship, and that each verse is the next month. And so you get into the flirting phase, you've been flirting again, and you're like, possibly maybe it'll work out. And then you're dating and you're like, well, maybe this love will excite me. This uncertainty certainly does. And yeah, you are having different feelings as the relationship is going on, and then it ends and you have the feelings after it. So Björk was apparently really sad that this was her first song that didn't really have hope in it, and that it ended on a moody, melancholic note. But I think it's very interesting. It wasn't a song sonically that really pushed me and made me very excited, but I think now, knowing the lyrics, I think I could see the vision of it more, and so I'm excited to dive again back into it before I give my final thoughts on how I'm ranking all the songs and everything. I also found out that apparently the music video is directed by the person that she broke up with for this song. Wild how you get this person the song is about to direct the music video for it, but I guess they must have ended on some sort of good terms, but wow. And that reminds me, I should get into more Björk music videos. I think I've only done Vespertine and Utopia, so there's plenty more to come. So let me know which album music videos I should do. I would definitely consider posts because it seems like there's a lot of them, that the Isobel one has some visualization, and possibly maybe that would be interesting to see how an ex decides to make your music video happen. Track number 9 is I Miss You. Ooh, tap, tap, tap. Okay, bop and a half. I miss you, but I haven't met you yet. Ooh, love the drums here. I know your habits, but I haven't recognized you yet. Oh, shout it out, girl. So that was I Miss You, and girl, mood. This song is about knowing your ideal partner. You'll fantasize about where you'll be with them in several years' time when you finally have met them, but you haven't met them. And so it's kind of that longing, that yearning, that feels wistful in a way of going towards the past, but actually it is a future thing because it has not happened yet. Sonically, I really enjoy this song. Lyrically, it hits a little hard. I definitely have had my fair share of visions. Have considered writing, self-insert Wattpad type things. I've not done it, but I think it's okay in theory, especially in comparison to when someone sent me something that had me inserted as the love interest, and it was a lot to take in. So I think having silly little daydreams for my silly little benefit, I think is totally okay. And I feel you on this one, Björk. And I'm excited for when that person comes into my life. I'm sure Björk was excited for that person to come into her life, although I think they have been divorced at this point. I don't know if she's been flirting again since then, but yeah, I feel the song for now. Track number 10 is Cover Me. Ooh. Is that a harp? Into the unknown. I'm going hunting. She's the hunter. This is really dangerous. What? Oh. Are we having some more imagery? Ominous. So that was Cover Me, and Björk here is trying to share that the impossible really does exist. She's going to go searching for it. She's the hunter. She's going to go hunting for it. And yeah, I think her saying that she's going hunting right before her album where she starts with Hunter, I think that is cool. So yeah, this song is fairly interlude, like it's just over 2 minutes, and she needs help as she is searching for mysteries and exploring more, kind of in the way that we were talking about with Enjoy and I think some other elements of the album, where she is still looking, she's searching, whether it's for a relationship, whether it's for something to enjoy herself with, or if it's just a whole new world for her to explore. Whatever it may be, she needs backup, so cover her. This song is a little quiet, and it does seem like it might be one that's a little too quiet for me to get into, but we'll have to see when I listen to it in headphones. And speaking of which, track number 11, final track on this album, is Headphones. It is very quiet. Oh, so quiet. Ooh, I think I hear some micro beats in there. Wait, oh, that sounds familiar. Dude, the headphones saved her life. Okay, I don't know about that. Definitely the power of music, I hear that, but the headphones specifically? I know that now. I don't recognize myself. Oh, Björk. Have you been exploring too much? Okay, let's learn the vowels with Björk. I'm sure that this song will sound better in headphones. Is this Icelandic or is it gibberish? Play the game at home. So that was Headphones, and that is a love letter to headphones and to the power of music, the triumph of the heart. Yeah, it's not the first time that she has written love to music or to dance, and I am really appreciative of her making a song that's dedicated to the power of music in a way that's not cheesy. It is very genuine of saying, I fell asleep to the cassette that you gave me last night. It's Oh So Quiet would sound interesting cassette. Yeah, but she fell asleep to the tape last night, and it was so calming and saves my life that when I am dealing with so many struggles or I'm frustrated, music has the power to bring me back down and chill and relax. That's how she's saying it, and I definitely agree that the power of music, for sure. Again, I don't know about headphones in particular. Sometimes it's great that it's just getting belted out in a club, in speakers. It can be helpful in that way too. But I do see the point that she's making, that having music, and especially having your internal world of music where it comes from headphones and it's only you hearing it, can be very impactful. I think about the song Alarm Call, which was on Homogenic, the first album I reacted to from Björk. And that is the song I actually use to calm me down. If I am very stressed or feeling overwhelmed, I listen to that song in particular. And I think that song also talks about the power of music in terms of all I need is my radio with good batteries and play a joyous tune and free the human race from suffering. I love that song. I love that song in particular. And so I love that she has always had this affinity for music, and she shares that in her music itself. With that, we have finished listening to Björk's discography as known of since October 2024. Yeah, this was a great comeback, and I am really glad that I get to finally implement it into my regular listening. I wanted to wait because, again, I have heard it before, but I really hadn't really digested it before. I think I listened to it to appease someone rather than actually listen to the music. You know, you can hear the music and you can listen. And I think today we actually gave it the fair listen it deserves. And I can see why it's a very popular choice for favorite Björk album or favorite album from the 90s. I get it because it is very lovely. She experiments talking about love, the power of music, searching for mysteries. She goes all throughout so many different things, and she is such a unique voice in the music landscape, and it's really cool to see somewhat close of where she began. She's done some very interesting songs here. She's gone many different directions, but it is very cool to see where she was taking it as her sophomore album. And I think this was a very strong sophomore album. I want to thank you for going on this journey through all of Björk's albums with me. It has been a ride, and I am very pleased that I had gotten to know this artist that just a few years ago I might have been like, oh, she's a little out there for me to get into. Now I'm fully into her. And while there are albums I like less or albums I like more, it is just really a treat whenever I get to check out what she has cooked up in the past 30-some years. I would love to hear your thoughts about reacting to Björk's music videos. If you'd like me to rank her albums from least favorite to most favorite, or any other content you would like from me regarding Björk, or not her at all. With that said, here are some of my favorites. So the top tier are the songs I love, the standouts, ones I'm playing over and over again. Songs in the middle are songs I like. I'll add them to my playlist, but they might not be to the top of the top. And songs at the bottom are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean it's a bad song. Doesn't mean it can't be your favorite song. Just means it's not for me, and that's okay. This album came out nearly 30 years ago, and it has taken me a minute to finally appreciate it. And if there's a couple songs I can't appreciate, it's okay. I'm sure they've been appreciated sometime in those past 30 years. If you like this video, please like it, comment down below, check me to react to it or next on my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.
Get out of the zone.